There are shows in this world that we will never fully understand, except Ghost Adventures. We have watched every episode to build our obsession, our fandom.
Watching alongside each other because no one we know really gives a damn. Watching Zach and crew catch groundbreaking proof of the paranormal, inspiring us to explore our own interest in otherworldly phenomena. This is our podcast. We are Paranormal Putas. Let's get into something to talk about. How about
What up, everybody? It's me, Leah.
And it's me, Bethany.
And we're the Paranormal Putas. And we're right in the middle of our, summer party lockdown because we've decided, like some geniuses, to just burn through and record the rest of our season in the next night. So here we are, baby. It's gonna be a wild ride.
It's a hoot and a holler, and we're coming at you with Ghost Adventures Season 6, Episode 7, titled Rocky Point Manor. And this baby aired in 2011.
Yeah, it did. Now, Rocky Point Manor, really my big takeaway involved in the Civil War. Part of a battlefield. Haunted.
Something like that. So, Rocky Point Manor is a 2-story mansion in Harrodsburg, Kentucky, and it was built in 1810 for attorney and Judge James Hagen. It was considered a grand home for Kentucky during the settlements period, and it was spanning about, the grounds span about 400 acres at the time, and it stood next to Fort Herod. So what had happened, what led to this manor being built was that some Shawnee natives burned down his old home. So they were like, yo, bro, you building on my land, I'm gonna burn it down. And then he came back and was like, nah, man, I'm setting up a trap. I'm gonna fuck you up. And then he gets into a fight with Shawnee Indians. People's just stabbed. People's just chopped up in the back. But then, unfortunately, John Higgins lived. And therefore, Rocky Point Manor had been built by his son. It was after the attack. So they talk about this attack because it was just kind of like the precursor to this manor being built. And at the time of the recording, Zach says, thank goodness, or thankfully John Higgins didn't die during the attack, with the Shawnee Indians or natives, during the attack with the Shawnee natives. And me and Leo were like, fortunately.
Yeah, what are you talking about, bro?
You mean unfortunately? But anyways,
we digress. No, this location was also, so it was a single family home, but it was also used during the Battle of Perryville as the hospital. So it did definitely see a lot of lives in and out of it during that battle. So we also focus in on that. And the guys actually meet up with a guy by the name of Justin, whose sister bought the location. So when he came back from Iraq, he was living in the location. So he had some experiences that he shared with the guys. But he talks about some of the artifacts that he finds on the property, and some of those being bullets with actual teeth marks in them. So he's telling Zach, just imagine the war and everything that was happening, and the saying, bite the bullet. He goes, that's where it comes from. So yeah, he's showing Zach all these things, and then he talks about his experiences in the household.
Yeah, and we're going to hold this piece in our back pocket because, again, this gentleman who is now, or at the time of the recording, the owner of the home, talking about living in that home and living in that tent in the home during renovation. Hold that in your minds. We got some great quotes coming for you.
This episode is chock full of Zaddy says.
I need to look up who wrote on this episode, because It was just chef's fucking kiss. Anyways, we'll get there when we get there. Hold on tight. Hold on to your butts.
The guy,
I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
But as Leah was talking, about this walkthrough, we talked to a gentleman named Jeff Waldridge, and he saw, or actually got video of a door opening by itself. He also, with his friend, he was with another investigator, right? Lee?
Yeah, Lee. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was Lee and Jeff of Shock Paranormal. So they saw a figure of a man in a doorway, but they were on the stairs. So they were walking upstairs. They looked to their left, and boom, there's a man standing in like a hallway door. And that shit was fucking creepy. That's a cool story. And the video they got of the door opening by itself was another cool piece of evidence.
Yeah, I think it was really cool that the guys, and I like when they bring in other paranormal investigators, like it's just kind of cool to get their perspectives. And then, of course, especially if they have really good evidence, like both Jeff and Lee had. But they were from the group Shock Paranormal, and I thought it was really great because there's a couple of skits in this episode.
Yeah, quite a few.
And I feel like this was one of the first ones because Zach's like, we're going to have a shock counter. And then like him and Jeff are going back and forth and like they incorporate the word shock, like every other word. So then it's like this little counter on the screen and it's like 1, 2, 3. And like they say shock like 13 fucking times in like the 2 minutes. But that's just kind of part of the pre-investigation, but also skits are coming. Trust and believe, skits are coming.
Well, I will introduce this first little bit, I guess. At this point in the episode, the guys are kind of talking about their journey, being ghost adventures, being investigators, and they're walking through fog, and it's a montage, and there's outfits, and it's amazing.
Like, yeah, Zach's like, we've been through a lot of investigations and it's just scenes from previous seasons and shit like that. So you see all three of the guys like walking. And it's like foggy. And there's a scene with like Zach's spiky hair and then Zach in glasses. And it's just like so much fashions. And it's like, it's literally like 30 seconds of the episode, but it's so fucking good. We were like, what the fuck is happening? This is great.
Leah was like, I love a montage.
I love a fucking montage.
And we should fucking edit that shit on like, I'm gonna be the most, or like, I wanna be a supermodel. And my hair will shine.
It's a, what is it, Team America? Everybody loves a montage.
Yeah!
A motherfucking montage.
It's fucking great. Well, it was great. It was a great little montage, and it was so dramatic.
Yeah.
Like, how they're all serious faced, and they're walking towards the camera like, I'm a big guy. And then there's fog. Oh, it's beautiful. It was beautiful.
It really was. It really was. After that moment, Zach decides, which I feel is like another skit. Here we kind of go. He's hanging out with Justin, but Justin takes them to a crawl space that's located under the house in the basement. And he's found bones and other items back there. So Zach wants to go in there, but it becomes a whole fucking deal with Zach climbing into the crawl space and then making comments throughout the whole time, which we'll tell you when Zany Zaddy says because they're fucking insane. Just think Zach crawling into a little space and all the things that these guys could say.
Yes.
But no, they're finding bones and kind of digging around. And I think at one point, like Nick and Aaron walk away from him and it just kind of becomes like a big deal. And again, another skit, like the guys are eating burgers, talking shit about Zach being in the crawl space. Like,
Yeah. Nick and Aaron are outside eating hamburgers and fucking Zach's in the crawl space eating spiders. But yeah, they did take a while on it. It was again one of those red flags.
Yeah.
There were a lot of red flags in this beginning because it was a lot of like skit and silly shit going on.
Oh yeah. I feel like it just really kind of continues because at that point, like we mentioned, Justin was telling the guys that he's found artifacts around the house and in the yard. So then the guys go ahead and start digging in the yard and using metal detectors, trying to find objects and items. And the metal detectors are going off, and you fucking Nick makes the comment like, "What's the most annoying sound in the world?" And you got the metal detectors, you got Zach finding stuff and them going back and forth about what he's found. And at one point he finds like what looks like a little old handgun. And he's like, oh, they'd be standing right here shooting, you know, and it's just a lot of back and forth. And
Zach making techno music with the fucking beeper with the metal detector.
He's like, oh, it sounds like techno music. I like techno music. And they actually take the items to be assessed by somebody, which is another skit in itself because it becomes like this mock antique road show where they're reviewing essentially a bunch of animal bones that they found. And it's just kind of, again, another skit. Zach does cringy things and it gets awkward and it's just kind of like, all right, here we go, wasting more fucking time.
Yeah, that poor archaeologist. Anyways. Oh, Joan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so at the very end of like this pre-investigation, the guys meet up with Joan, who shares facts about the Perryville battlefield.
I feel that.
She takes them to the mass burial site of the Confederate soldiers, and she actually allows them to go onto Perryville battlefield at night. And keep that in your back pocket. We got another great quote coming with that.
Oh, yeah, baby. But that's really it for the pre-investigation. So you know what that means.
Let's do.
Honorable haunts and skimpy scares. Here we are, baby. Here we are. Honorable haunts and skimpy scares. Let's start them off with a skimpy, shall we?
Yeah, I've only got one skimpy for each location. I know that you have this skimpy, so I'll share it because you have a skimpy honorable.
Yeah.
So the guys start the investigation in Perryville battlefield. So again, they're doing two locations in this episode. That's Rocky Point Manor and Perryville battlefield. So they spend a good chunk of time in the Perryville battlefield. Yeah. And what portion were they in? They were in like the front portion-ish when nothing happened.
Nothing.
Fucking nothing for I don't even know how long, but they were like, all right, we got to move on.
Yeah. It was a real bummer, a waste of everyone's time. But yeah, that was one of my first skimpies as well. And really the only one I really have other than the skimpy honorable. So you want to do your other skimpy?
Sure. So my next skimpy is at Rocky Point Manor. And towards the end of the episode, one of the last pieces the guys get is what they claim to be a female voice singing. But Leah was like, oh, what did you say? It sounds like
a violin or
a violin. Yeah.
Like...
Well, I put it as skimpy because I don't know what the fuck it sounded like.
Yeah.
I really was just like, I don't even really hear anything. It just sounds like a hot mess in there.
Well, I think that's good too, because I would file that more under like a skimpy honorable for me, because like you hear something for sure, they capture something, but they say it's a woman's voice. I think it sounds like a violin. Something's there. You just really can't tell what it is. So it's not a grade A EVP. Mm-hmm. It's just a noise. So
I would like to rebuttal this.
Oh, okay.
Because I agree with you. It could be a skimpy honorable because of that. But in this one episode alone, they debunk evidence twice.
Yeah, they do.
Multiple times in the episode, they're like, oh, yeah, we captured this, but it wasn't actually paranormal.
Yeah,
it was like Aaron's head reflecting on the fucking lampshade. Like,
that's true. That does happen. And I like when they debunk stuff sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a bummer because you want them to get paranormal things caught on camera, but it's also cool that they're like, yeah, that's not true.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
The show.
Yeah, man.
But again, it's like you never really know.
That's
you
true.
know?
Yeah.
So with a shitty audio like that, it's always going to be kind of skimpy for me if I can't hear it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Respect. That's what we're here to do. Review and evaluate episodes
I need to evaluate my life
that happened 14 years ago. After that, the skimpy honorable that I had noted was really the guys dressing up in in battle garb. Like they're wearing the hats, they're wearing the jackets, they got their battle rifles. So really just kind of using themselves as trigger objects. Like Zach even takes off like his mic and like throws his flashlight. He's like, they wouldn't have had these back in, the battle days and all this stuff. So he takes it off because he wants to be really like a part of the elements and really get into it. So I always think that's cool when they use themselves as trigger objects to really kind of bring the evidence to life.
Absolutely. That one, I did note that one, but then I saw you put it and then I deleted it because I was like, yeah, she gonna talk about it. But I love that too. It's always fun. But so the guys move along deeper into Perryville battlefield, and now they're in the area where like actual battle took place. And in this area, we do hear a total of 4 cannon blasts. And Leah had a little note on that.
Yeah, they blasted for about 15 minutes.
They blasted for 15 minutes, bro.
Well, I thought it was great. Like, it's really kind of cool because you just hear them from the distance and the guys are freaking out about it. Like, what are those blasts? And Zach makes the note that they stood there for about 15 minutes and they heard a total of 4 different cannon blasts. So that's just really cool to pick up that residual energy at the battlefield. So.
And it kind of like, I don't know much about, we should have asked Dad. I don't know much about, the logistics of battle at that point in time. But if you think about the time it would take to reload a cannon, if you only have the one, it would probably take about 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair.
And for 3 to 5 minutes. And it's like, they heard 4 within 15 minutes. So it's like, boom, reload, boom. I don't know. That was just how my mind was working because I'm crazy. But I don't know. I was just thinking about how long it would take.
Chill out, Goodwill Hunting.
That meme with the lady and the symbols all like calculating.
She's got all the math.
I've got what's that movie? Whatever. A Beautiful Mind.
Chill out, Rain Man. Yeah, if my calculations are correct, it would take exactly 3 minutes to load the cannon. So 15 minutes and 4 cannon blasts would make perfect sense.
Equals MC squat. Oh, God.
Oh, shit, man. But it doesn't stop there. The next honorable I have is the guys captured, they're using their thermal imaging camera out on the battlefield. This is something they did at Gettysburg, and they reference Gettysburg a lot in this episode. And
so much that I wrote down a piece of evidence that wasn't even for this. Leo was like, that was last episode.
I was like, that was Gettysburg. Take that out of the list. That's not right.
That was hilarious.
But they're using the thermal imaging cam, and the guys pick up a purple mist that just kind of walks out of the corner of the thermal cam as they're scanning the battlefield. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that was a really sweet piece. And then the last piece we got from Perryville Battlefield is when the guys are starting to head out, they hear a total of 4 gunshots.
Yeah. And I thought that was cool too, because they end up talking to a guy at the end of it, like the guy who locked them up in the battlefield. He like manages the battlefield, and he was like, "Yeah, I heard that too." And he mentioned that they have Fort Knox over 100 miles away. Mm-hmm. He was like, that would be the only other place where we would hear that type of sound coming from. They actually called Fort Knox the next day, and they were like, yeah, nobody was out there shooting in the middle of the night.
At like 1 in the morning.
Yeah, so they went out, and I like that because that's them, again, kind of building their credibility. So there was nobody out there to anyone's knowledge shooting these guns from the distance that the guys heard them from. So I just thought it was really cool.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, man.
I love that they went the extra mile.
Yeah, man. That's the GA way.
But that is... Sorry. I need water. Blah, blah, blah.
Do you want to stop for water?
No, it's cool. I want to keep going. So anyways, yeah, so that was pretty much it for Perryville. Now we move on to Rocky Point Manor. And the first thing me and Leah wrote, of course, is Nerve Center. Billy Tully hitting the Nerve Center. We got 3 TVs this time. Bitch, we got 3 TVs and a computer. All right. They upgrading already just from previous episodes. Just from last episode, they only had 2 TVs. Now we got 3 and a computer.
And I like it because like the way Zach's introducing Billy, like I feel like he's really starting to incorporate him into the crew because he's like, we have only one other person in this lockdown with us. Come this way and we'll show you who it is. And then like he opens up the kitchen door and it's fucking Billy sitting there with his mohawk. And I like it because Bethany called it Nerve Center and Zach does call it Nerve Center, but then he calls it the Audio Center, which I thought was really cool because that's how Billy started. He was their audio tech guy. So he was like, you're here in Audio Center with Billy Tully. And I was like, fuck yeah, man, let's party. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we got excited.
Yeah, man. But in regards to the evidence in Rocky Point Manor, one of the first ones that I got here was Nick is actually about to walk out of the nerve center. So they're set up in the kitchen and he's about to go into the manor by himself with the PX device. And as he's opening the door on the PX device, you hear the word close and then Nick. And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then Nick gets covered in goosebumps. He's like, oh my God, look at me, man. I got goosebumps. And the thing said my name. And so it was a real cool moment to have the body reactions, the tech reaction, and to actually hear the word pretty clear was pretty cool.
Yeah. And the last honorable that I got was also from the PX device. If you want to read them out with me, we got a couple words.
Oh, yeah.
We got distressed.
I fucked that up.
Stomach.
Enemy.
Letter.
Sentry.
And those all came from the PX device, and they were pretty quick hits too. Like they were pretty, I don't know, it seemed like intelligent, quick hits.
Yeah.
You know, so that's always exciting.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially when Zach tries to put it together like a fucking Mad Lib. He's all like, oh, were your stomach in pain?
He thinks he has sorry.
You're sorry.
I'll let you finish. I'm sorry.
No, go. It's your turn.
I was going to say he thinks he has a beautiful mind. Sorry.
We got a long way to go.
Sorry, crybaby. I'm sorry.
Well, that's the honorables and the skimpies. So, you know what that means. Zach's Fashion for Us!
Yeah.
That's right, everybody. It's time for Zach's Fashion for Us. Brought to you by Zach's mustache in this episode. Oh my God. It was very exciting. I said, oh my God, Zach's got a mustache and a little baby goatee. It is hot. I like it. I'm here for it. And on top of that, he's really just rocking a long sleeve with a hoodie. And we discovered that the brand name is Rebel Spirit. If you can recall in our last GA review, we were trying to decipher what does it say.
Thought it was a Red Spirit.
Yeah, Bethany thought it was Red Spirit. We said Rose Spirit, but no, it is Rebel Spirit. So this is his new brand that he's rocking, and it's written all over his hoodie. He's also wearing like they're not checkers. It's the chevron.
Zigzag.
Yeah,
it's a zigzag.
The zigzag.
It's a horizontal zigzag.
Boom. And it's black and white on his tennis shoes. He's got a studded belt with the big belt buckle. Like he's just really in his element, and it's really kind of fantastic. He looks super hot. He's wearing flashy things. He's also wearing a flashy watch to show that he's getting them paychecks now. So we're about it.
My favorite piece was his coffin ring.
Oh, yeah.
It was a huge, bulky, masculine silver coffin with a cross inside of it. And he was wearing it, I think it was like his index finger. And I love it. I want it.
It is amazing. And then really, as previously mentioned, Zach was wearing battlefield attire as well. We're going to mention that in the fashions because I thought it was kind of funny because there's a moment where he's standing there and he gets real kind of like, he kind of changes his accent a little bit. Like he starts talking a little bit Southern and he's talking to the Lauren, or I forget her name. And he's like, and we're taking this real serious. And it seems kind of jokey and like real hokey of him to kind of be doing it in the first place. And she's like, well, I'm glad you're taking it seriously because this was a serious place where a lot of people lost their lives. And he's like, you got it. But it was just so goofy looking. So I was like, are you really though, Zach? Because it doesn't feel that way. But
I don't doubt that at the time he thought he was.
oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
fair.
Because again, as we talked in last episode, like they're still growing and learning.
Yeah.
So I don't doubt that he thought he was being serious. He's being genuine on his Zach level, all right?
That's fair, bro. But that's it for the fashion. So let's roll.
And that brings us to my favorite segment. Zany Zaddy says,
What? Holy shit.
Bro, this list is insane.
and I even had to delete one. Leah was looking at my list and she was like, oh my God. And I was like, there's just so much goodness. She was like, what'd you say? Something about like how sometimes there's none. And
Yeah. It just kind of depends on the episode. Sometimes we have none, and sometimes we got fucking a
paragraph.
Half this episode is gonna be Zany Zaddy says.
yeah. Oh, they're just so good. Like I said before, I really need to know. I need to go look up the writer because it's just fucking perfection. It is true poetry.
So you kicking it off or am I kicking it off?
I don't even care, bro. Whatever you want to do.
All right. Well, I guess I'll jump right in. So Zach, of course, talking about the battlefield, doing what he does, and being ridiculous. He hits us with, "We're here to preserve that mystery and honor the guys who blah blah blah."
You got it.
"We're here to preserve that mystery and honor the guys who died at battle." I don't really know how they're being honored, but Zach is claiming that he is honoring them, so we will allow it.
One of my favorites was, like Leah said, they went down into the basement and they were digging up some bones. And Zach says, their bones may be in the basement, screaming out to be remembered. And if that's not poetry, I don't know what is.
Oh my God, this one has multiple parts. Do you want me to be Aaron and you be Zach?
Sure. This was fucking great. So we're going to set this one up. So when we were talking about the background and again, how this guy, lived in a tent inside the house, they're talking about the said tent. And
Aaron will be played by Leah, and the parts of Aaron will be played by Leah, and the parts of Zach will be played by Bethany.
End scene.
Pitched a tent here your first night.
Only you would think of that stuff.
Well, that's what he said.
That's what she would say.
Oh, fuck.
Well, that's what she would say. Because instead of saying that's what she said.
Yes, okay. I'll do that.
Read it.
Do that again, yeah.
And action.
Pitched a tent in here last night. Oh, no, fuck that up too. Okay.
First night, yeah.
Yeah.
You
right.
add a you, like you pitched a tent in your first night.
Okay.
I think it'll help.
Yeah. You pitched a tent in here your first night.
I thought you were going to laugh. I'm sorry. You did the last like 3 times. You want to just do this? We don't have to. This is too much.
It's so funny. Okay.
And action.
You pitched a tent here your first night.
Only you would think of that stuff.
Well, that's what she would say. Yes, give us our Oscar.
Fucking stupid. Yeah, beautiful 6th grade humor. I'm here for it. I love it. But shortly thereafter, they're roaming the home, and Zach is just really on his spiritual woo-woo right now. Like, he's over here talking about, traces of ghosts being left behind and all this shit. And then he touches like a little lamp. And he's like, I put my hand on this lamp and I take my hand off this lamp. And then he says,
There's a part of me that stays on this glass.
It's so so ridiculous.
And it is so like he's trying to like prove like this point of like my hand oils are on this lamp forever and ever and ever and ever, and it'll never always be connected to this lamp. Therefore, this home will always be connected to those soldiers. Therefore, it is haunted. Like it was a lot. It was vis-a-vis, yeah, accordingly. Ergo, there are ghosts.
Oh my goodness. As we mentioned,
this is a good
Zach and crew are hanging out on the fields or in the yard, really just kind of using metal detectors, digging up stuff. Zach finds things, and he finds it necessary to shout out to the world, "Who's a badass relic hunter now?"
That was great. Oh, this is a fun one. So this is another 2-piece.
Yeah.
Well, they're both Zach though.
No, the second one's Justin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to do this one together?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun and that was Zach, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to be Zach this time?
I can, yeah.
All right. Okay. So this next Zaddy said, absolutely fabulous. So Justin is taking Zach down into that basement to pick up these damn bones. And that is where we are.
Zach will be played by Leah and Justin will be played by Bethany.
Time to go have some fun in this hole.
Enough with the double entendres, dude.
Oh my God. Yeah, Zach's over here talking about playing in holes. Aaron's over here talking about pitching tens, and Justin has had enough.
Grow the fuck up, everybody. Grow
Enough with the
up.
double entendres. Oh, it was great. It was fucking great. We were laughing so much this episode. It was fantastic.
Oh man, but then they just continue. You just want to like ping pong these next ones.
Yeah, sure. Then it just gets real wild with the hole jokes. Go for it.
Hang on, guys. I'm in a hole right now. What did I get myself into on this one?
This is the tightest hole I've ever been in.
What? These are all the things Zach is saying while crawling through this tiny fucking hole. Like, what is happening?
It's a kid-friendly show.
Anyways.
But there's more.
There is more. The last thing that Zach says, do you want it or is there?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Is there a particular one you care? Okay. So the last thing that Zach says, he is coming out of the tiny tight hole and he says, "Born me to the world. Push, Rocky Point Manor. Push." And he's like coming out head first out of this little fucking hole in the wall, like really seriously being birthed by Rocky Point Manor. So, you know.
I love it. I think Justin's like, it's a boy.
Yeah, he did say that.
Like,
that's right.
They make a whole fucking thing of it. It's
Another
ridiculous.
skit.
Another skit.
Skit.
Yeah, but it was so good. After that, I really don't know where we are, what's happening here.
So I'll set this one up for you and you can have it. So this is when he asks Joan to come back to Perryville Battlefield at night. And they didn't let him do this at Gettysburg.
Yeah.
So he was very excited.
Oh, yeah. He was so excited that he felt it to say, "An honor I've been wanting and craving."
Craving.
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 Again. If that is not poetry, what in the heck is? But unfortunately, here's our last Zaddy says, and it is probably the most beautiful, the most poetic. Zach says, at the end of the episode, "This land still bleeds and cries the pain it once absorbed." And scene.
Damn, dude. So good. So good it can't be deleted from our docs page.
I love it.
Whew, man. so good. But dude, that's already the history, the haunts, the fashions, the zaddies. Now it's time to rate this baby.
Dude, this shit went by so fucking fast. This
So
episode
fucking
went by
fast.
really fast. And I actually did remember this episode. Like when we first started, I was like, I remember this, like parts of it. But do you know what you're gonna rate it?
I didn't remember this episode, and I feel like I'm stuck in the world of 2.5s, man.
Yeah.
Like I just can't. I don't know. I feel like 3 is too high.
Oh, 3 is definitely too high. I'm doing a 2 on this one. A flat 2 claws.
Okay. I can respect it. Yeah.
I mean, it was great. It was very funny. But a lot of that I think is attributed to the fucking writing, like whoever that writer was. The skits, hilarious, but again, too much because they really didn't capture a lot.
Yeah.
Like in this one, we got a lot of those red flags we always talk about, and lack of evidence. Last time we had red flags, but it was still fairly good evidence, like a little bit more than this one. You know, like at the end of this episode, they actually did like a tally. They were like, so this is what we found. And I was like, they're doing our honorable haunts for us. Because he listed out like all the shit they got. And I feel like he only felt the need to have to do that because it was a bit of a flat episode.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that. Yeah, because they never really do that. Like give a full tally maker, and yeah, it was literally a list on the screen of all the shit they captured. So yeah, no, I can respect it. Yeah, 2 claws. Yeah, why not?
I mean, who knows? It could have been a thing they were trying, like something new. You know how they do that in shows. Like we do that too. But I don't know. It just felt weird. It felt like filler to me personally. So yeah, man, 2 claws, baby.
I feel you, and I definitely need a cleanse.
Ugh, me too, broski. Let's do it.
Omni rigere suminaro. Omni rigere suminaro.
Take a big deep breath in. Release that mother sucker out. You are cleansed.
Yes, I felt it. It's good.
Most excellent. Well, everybody, we hope you had a good time. We hope we've inspired you in some way.
Oh shit, was that the goal?
I don't know. I'm tired. It's late. I'm ready to schmeckerber. So, until we see you next time, we love you. I'm Bethany.
And I'm Leah.
We're signing off with 2 besitos.
From these potitos. Let's party.
I always want to go, that was a hoot. But we've done that before.
Yeah.
But it really just, every time, it's what I hear in my head. That was a hoot.
Because Rocco's Modern Life is the fucking shit.
Rocco's Modern Life is a hoot.